Our Lady wept a lot that week, the week her mother left. It was a miserable one. Pissing down with rain but still hot. I didn't see much of Claire at all. I don't think she was allowed out, because of the rain. Then one day I was tidying my room, well, pushing things into my cupboard. And I stopped and looked out the window, and there she was, sitting on the railings at the bottom of the street. On her own, just sitting there. She was wearing 2 different kinds of socks. It was obvious they were different. One was red and one was yellow. I went out to see her. I had my father's coat with me and held it over both our heads. I didn't ask why she was sitting in the rain, or why she had no coat on, or why she was wearing 2 different socks. Instead, I started telling her about my Aunt Rita, who told me she had a surprise for me. Turned out to be a statue of the Virgin Mary. It glows in the dark. Then I told her about me bouncing on my bed and breaking 3 of the springs and trying to hide the evidence. Sometimes she'd smile and nod. Other times she'd laugh and say, "Really?" But I knew she wasn't listening. So when I ran out of things to tell her, I just sat next to her, swinging my legs beside her on the railings in the rain. That's when I saw what she'd been looking at. On the telephone wires above the street, rows and rows of birds sitting to attention. They started flying off one by one, and she was following them with her eyes. That's when I turned to her and said, "Do you think they're going to fly over the rainbow?" And then she said, "No, they're not bluebirds." Then she stood up quietly. She stood and said, almost under her breath, "From here, they look like tiny pieces of ash. And the sky looks like smoke."